Welcome into our quarterfinal match of today's ESL Open Cup Korea. Just realized I didn't have the ESL logo on this entire time. Whoops. Don't ban me, ESL. I'm so sorry. In the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Terran player here on Grezvan is going to be ByuN. He takes on the red Protoss in the top left from Dragon. Kaiser Gaming. herO. Game one of our best of three underway. Two gates already coming down. herO is off to the races here in game number one, apparently. Second gateway proxy to the front. He is not going to chill out at all. He's going to bring the fire to ByuN, all right, at the start of this quarterfinal matchup, game number one. Feels like these two match a lot of the time. I guess the way that ESL points line up just mean that they kind of keep on ending up on the same side of the bracket in these cups and all of this and that, so... I like I cast ByuN versus herO so frequently at the moment. It's kind of a little crazy, actually, that's something that happens so frequently, I guess. As our Cybercore comes up, the assimilator coming through, the gateway coming down as well. Our probe continues to produce. We do have a factory CC all coming up as well. So a lot of bits and pieces coming in right now from ByuN. Obviously, he does have the CC on the low ground, which is exactly what herO is hoping for. herO wants that low ground CC so that he can really get in there with the gateway units and really apply some pressure and hopefully get some good damage done. Is absolutely what he's going to be hoping for in the early stages, so... Factory finishing up shortly. Warp Gate, Depth, Stalker, all continuing on out. Just going to be seeing our Stalker already showing up. Is going to go after this Marine. So Marine taking a few shots. Is going to go down. Nice catch, actually. Good to get rid of that quickly. And now the Stalker going to come around onto the natural expansion, where we are going to pick our way through an SCV as well. So just going to take that out pretty much immediately. Our SCV is continuing to take some damage. Stalker's going to get another SCV straight away. One SCV jumps into the command center there. And both of these are going to start pressing up. We do see a couple Marines popping out. The Adept still coming forward. It's going to be seen out. A couple Stalkers will get rid of one of these SCVs. And just having ourselves a couple of additional Marines still producing on the high ground. But this is a good amount of pressure. This is what you're meant to get, though. Obviously, this is a later Nexus from herO. It's a later tech choice from herO. His tech's not going to be online for a long time compared to usual. So you need to do damage like this, otherwise you're in a lot of trouble, because you just can't afford to, well, just be in a regular position based on the commitments that you're making. So it always feels bad as a Terran player. It feels like you're getting pushed back. You don't have your natural, but it's such an investment on the other side that I think you can look at this and be like, okay, you know, the stuff I can work with here, the stuff I can do. I think that's pretty important to note, you know, that the Terran player has still got, especially later on. I feel like a lot of the time the Protoss player has, again, such late tech. The Terran's pushes can actually be very devastating and very difficult for a Protoss player to truly stop, so something else just for us to look at as we go into charge, but also the Dark Shrine from herO. Okay, this is not the expected follow-up that I thought it was going to be. So he's going to go charge in Dark Shrine. Very interesting. Marines going after and killing off that hallucination. And that's actually kind of important. We're going Cloaked Banshees. We're going to see the battle of the cloaked units. What's better? Banshees or DTs? Obviously, ByuN with the Tech Lab on the starport might be able to get a Raven up to help him against the DTs as well. The biggest issue is kind of just dealing with the DTs the first time around before you really know about them. If you don't know they're coming, that is potentially going to be a bit of an issue for sure. To get rid of the Adept that was hiding in the corner. There's a Robo coming up, batteries as well. I think preparations are being made from herO to keep himself safe against the majority of things that could be coming his way. So, I guess we'll see what will happen. Look, about halfway done. Tank still coming up. Charge, Dark Templar, all continuing to build. Here is a DT. Moving forward, Marines don't see it, which is a shame, because now that DT is going to get past the Marines. There's not going to be as many units at home to actually shut down the DT. The wall-off is good, though. Do we have a scan? Yes, and that is going to be a quick kill. So actually, first DT doesn't do that much. Next DT is going to want it into the natural as well from the other side. The Banshee gets turned around immediately, by the way, and there is going to be an observer out too, so this Banshee just can't do anything. It's going to have to fall back. Is there a Banshee too? There is, so probably both Banshees join up together and maybe do something else. Is ByuN just being denied economy yet again here on this natural, so not able to do too much there. And DT comes around the right. A couple extra gates, a couple of additional probes, all continuing through. Both Banshees just going to get cloaked up, and we do see our probe off to the edge. It's just going to be careful. As our Banshees move straight in toward this main base. Three, 4, 5, 6 workers. This is where the damage is being done, even though we were prepared for this Banshee before. Now the double Banshee strikes for 8 worker kills. Now we're going to see a little bit more DT action. Gets into the main. Good quick response from ByuN, to be fair. That was an SCV pull. I guess, okay, I killed an SCV building the depot on the edge. I was going to say, that's insane that he saw that so far in advance. That DT just survives the tank shells. As it survived 3 shots. 2 from the low ground, 1 from the high. Gets out of there alive. An interesting game. herO's initial pressure did decently, but he took some losses to be able to get there. His DT harass has not been really all that great, and then he took some damage from the Banshees. 8 probes versus 6 SCVs lost. Both players have invested into kind of dealing damage here, and both players were slowed down early. A very unique game, right? Just a lot of different moving pieces that have slowed this down a lot more than usual, and both in very playable positions. I do think overall I like it for ByuN. Equal workers for Terran is almost always a good thing. Obviously, herO is now finishing the 3rd base, so you can saturate and get beyond the 2 base worker count, start to build up to 3 base worker economy. That's great. I think ByuN might have a strong push before then, just because this has been kind of somewhat like 2 base versus 2 base economy for a while, and again, Terrans typically do like that. Although I guess when you look at the income graph, I guess you've got to note that multiple times SCVs have been pulled away due to the DT harass, for example, so maybe ByuN's first push is not going to be as powerful, but he's also got the Raven, a little bit of utility there. However, Storm is really not far from being done, and if Storm's finished for this push, I actually think ByuN's chances of really moving forward and doing anything with this are pretty much at an all-time low, so I actually think herO is probably going to be okay. Oh! That was a great anti-armor missile. The Storm was good, but well, okay, the fight wasn't good from... Oh, God. So much to talk about there. So the anti-armor missile was great. The first Storm was good. The Prism went down. The next High Templar didn't have a Storm straight away. ByuN dove the Super Battery. I actually don't think he needed to do that. I think he could have targeted the High Templar with energy first. And ByuN didn't siege his tanks. I think if his tanks get sieged, obviously he can't back away from that position as easily. But if his tanks are sieged, then he can do a lot more damage. He's losing these medevacs. They're both... Oh, okay, one of them doesn't go down. The feedback didn't do anywhere near as much as I thought it would. Let's just go around the right-hand side. Everything from here already just push into the natural, and this is going to be a... I think this is going to be a rough one, guys, for ByuN. I feel like those medevacs going down, or one of those medevacs going down. Okay, it's not that he's not going to be able to survive this, but the problem is you're surviving this by holding on 2 bases. You need to get out and get your 3rd base at some stage. I think here it would be kind of crazy to actually attack into this here. It's very choked up. If you get Storms on the Terran, sure, he's very stacked, but I think you don't attack into this. You just sit here and say, hey, cool, I've got a 3rd base and you don't. So what we going to do, you know? Fire comes out, few SCVs going down, Archon, Forge, all of this continuing through. Do you have our Ghost producing from ByuN? More Ghost we have, I think the better this will be for him. And he moves the Orbital off over to the side a little bit, makes a bit more space around this bunker as just load up a single drop of Marines, maybe put some pressure on the other side. Humps goes down, a few Stalkers get there, Marauders firing away, Army going to come running towards the front. Put in mind shots, that's a good set of Storms. The Matrix came onto the Raven, the Prism just a little bit too late to stop the High Templar getting out. Massive push in. herO's just really not afraid of attacking this natural. I think that's honestly a crazy decision. I just don't think there's... I think this is the one way you can really lose this game by attacking in here is just going to make life very difficult for you. Prism goes down. Warping into the main does not go off. ByuN is doing a lot of damage across the map. Those 8 Marines, they've just been kind of left to kind of deal on, damage on the natural, and a lot of them survive as well. So while ByuN takes a lot of damage, he does at least deliver some back the other way. Extra Marines coming through. Prism still coming up. So is the +1 attack upgrade. Nexus is going down on the 4th base, and a Marine still coming across over the right side. Try and see what we can do as well as our bio gets straight on top of this pylon. That ain't gonna last very long, and that gateway is gonna start getting chipped away at very quickly, very easily. Well, we continue on down to the south here from herO. There's bio, there's Ghost, there's Widow Mines all coming into the center. Marines is going to get healed up. Bio still gathering up. Stalkers and Archons out around the bottom side. We do have our army coming up. This next is going to be in some trouble. We're going to base trade. I mean, base trading feels pretty good for ByuN. He's on low economy, so, let's go base for base. I guess the only downside to ByuN is obviously he doesn't have as much or as many structures to kind of buy time with. herO's already evacuating the probes away around the top side of the map, so he's going to get out of the way with those immediately. Yeah, ByuN just needs to make sure to shut down production ASAP, because obviously his own production going to get shut down. He should have obviously tried to burrow those mines, but I'm sure he's looking at other things at the moment. A lot going on, a lot to do in the early moments of a base trade, so working our way through that right now as our bio stems up into the main. Main base next is going to start taking some heavy shots. Barracks, orbital command, all this flying out through the south side of the map. 28 probes, 29, 31 probes all going down. We did get probes across the map though, and herO does have money to build a Nexus if he needs to. 8 SCVs going down. Just going to be seeing the work count still decent on either side then. So ByuN must have some SCVs somewhere. He does have some with the army. He doesn't have enough to build a CC because he's already building one in the main base of herO. So he does have a CC over here. This Widow Mine just burrows up, trying to catch any probes that maybe pop out. Armies are 63 to 69 army supply. 5 Ghosts versus 5 High Templar. A couple mines. Bio versus just kind of a very low Zealot count too. I think if the Zealot count was high, I'd be more worried for ByuN. I mean, this really comes down to EMPs. EMPs can just absolutely delete the army of herO. With 5 High Templars spread about properly, it should be possible to keep the Terran play from just EMPing everything all at once, but let's see, man. The base trade is honestly, I think, very good for ByuN, as we are going to go down to the one base, the one rebuilt base each. ByuN will find this. Obviously, herO is building in ByuN's natural. ByuN's built his CC in herO's main. Both players have to pretty much rebuild from 0. 1 pylon from herO, 3 barracks from ByuN. That's what's left on the map. Obviously, ByuN still has the SCVs, but he's walking around with those in the army. I do think if he can go and take a fight before this battery set up here, there's a lot of hope. But again, you've got to be very careful of the storms. They are going to be scary. Maybe just being the aggressor in is part of the issue as well. As oh, that was a storm maybe coming off of the prism. We lost 2 High Templar though. Oh my goodness. So he stormed the army, but he lost 2 High Templar in doing so. That doesn't feel good because these storms get healed up from. First EMPs go big. Well, we hit the EMP on the High Templar as well. There's a couple of high energy Templar left. They get the feedbacks off, but the storm doesn't really connect there. And now there's no more storm energy. No EMP energy either, but I think ByuN's army is way better in this circumstance, and it is. He absolutely crushes through this force of herO. Wow. Just the storms not being enough there. The feedbacks were cool to get rid of the ghost energy, but like the EMPs were mostly already out, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to have our red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Currently leading by a game after that astounding finish last time around. In the top right side, our blue Protoss. It is herO from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. That was kind of a wild It was a wild ending to the game, wasn't it? Fun stuff, though. Fun stuff. Let's see what game number 2 is going to bring us here. Working our way through our ESL Open Cup Korea quarterfinals. Couple SCVs. Probe gonna go nibbling up against each other, so a little bit of damage being dealt. Barracks is about to finish. Cybercore is coming up. Rain comes through. Probe gets chased away. Ah, run, Probe, run! Very nearly goes down. That was very nearly a bit of a shame. I just see a Cybercore coming up next, coming through. All of this getting set in the early stages. And yeah, Barracks Reactor. Again, all the good stuff in the first few moments, nothing really too wild. Apart from that Probe nearly dying. That really is as wild as it's going to get, though. That kind of is your early game, guys. That's all good. We just sit back and chill out for a little bit now. As our Marine continues around. Extra barracks coming up. There's going to be 3 racks in total. So we're all going to be seeing the 3 racks here and a bit more of an aggressive setup from ByuN. He did expand high ground here for safety's sake. Just going to see these couple more Marines popping out. Just a few Marines wandering over. Tech labs are starting up on the side of ByuN as we obviously expect Stim and Combat Shields to be coming in early here. So we can truly make our way up into this 3 racks kind of power composition. And we'll figure it out from there, I guess. We'll see what exactly the next step of all this will be. Stim combat, few Marines still coming through, the Phoenix and the Warp Gate coming up as well. Just gonna see that Phoenix patrolling over on the edge. And as our upgrades come in, we'll see how aggressive we can be. With it being a Stargate and Phoenix, you've got to be very careful with your unit count here as herO. Against the 3 racks, you can't really afford to like skip the Immortal, for example. You need to make sure you hit a couple Gateway Warpins to just have enough numbers to deal with the first bio push. Otherwise, they're just going to stim into your natural and completely overwhelm you. So that's straight away something you've got to be very on top of, very, immediately capable of doing. Phoenix come in, a couple of Marines will begin to go down, and SCV goes down over on this side as well. So Phoenix obviously revealing 3 racks, obviously good to know. That information is critical, and again, straight away, the Immortal starts. It has to. If you don't start the Immortal here, you're just asking for trouble. You're putting yourself into such a difficult space. So yeah, it makes complete sense to get that started, as we do see our batteries still coming up. The Robo Bay is still coming through. We're gonna dive in here. We get the pylon. Deep powers the Robo. The Immortal doesn't have a battery nearby. Oh my goodness, this is just... He actually just stemmed into the natural. There's only a few Marines left. Like, they shouldn't be able to do too much more. And there's batteries everywhere from herO. My goodness, he was terrified of this game. Only going to kill 2 probes in the end. That was a bit of a wild, out-of-nowhere fight, almost as... Yeah, I mean, we lost all of the Bioforce. We only really killed an Immortal and a Pylon and a couple of probes. That really wasn't anywhere near as good as I thought it was going to be. Marines coming over. Phoenix get chased away. And he's come back in. The Phoenix just get pushed back up the left-hand side. Again, Colossus coming out. Extended Thermal lands the sentry. Continuing through. As that turret is there to keep on forcing these Phoenix out. Again, Medivacs, Marauders, the +1 upgrade, all of that being built in. As a Marauder jumps into the bunker. And the Phoenix are still just chilling out down in the bottom left-hand side. Trying to figure out what they're going to do. Colossus being chrono boosted out. A few extra SCVs are being brought into play. A +1 attack upgrade producing on the side of ByuN. Obviously, with ByuN losing so much on the first attack, it really feels like now it's a much slower, a much slower game for him, right? He lost a big chunk of his army. He's nowhere near as threatening as he once was. So it's just, that's why herO can make all of these tech choices. That's why herO can just get fully set up. And that's why it's just so important to be defending so well early. As our Phoenix are going to get zoned out a little bit. A few Marines coming through. Missile turret getting some shots off. Phoenix will take some shots there. Units of herO heading down to the bottom left-hand side. Again, Medivacs, Marines, tank, charge +1, Colossus, all of that's still coming through for the moment. Now with Phoenix, want to just go chilling out the sides. We do have the extra units all producing. The reactor is continuing up. Colossi getting some shots off. Medivac's going to get forced to lift up and back away. That's a great set of force fields, and herO's going to completely dominate the start of this fight. As he's just sitting kind of towards the Terran base. I don't think he has major intentions of attacking into the base of the Terran player. I think he's pretty happy just to sit here and to kind of scare ByuN a little bit. And, keep an eye. Maybe if he sees a good fight, he'll take it. But I think he's kind of fine just to sit here. He's about to finish charge. Prism on the way. Maybe when the Prism gets here and reinforces some more immediates, then we might actually be all about actually pushing in. So yeah, that is a possibility that's developing over these next few moments. Bioforce setting up. Another siege tank will siege. It's going to be seen as Zelstar charge forward. Siege tank gets lifted. Siege tank gets dropped. Another couple of tanks getting lifted up here. We do not have the target fire to knock the Phoenix down, bring those back in the fight. The tanks are kind of your answer to the Colossi right now, so without them being on the ground, it's going to be very tough. We do very well against everything else. The Colossi really are just left standing, though. Stalkers warp in, a couple of Zealots as well. Just going to be seeing those tanks firing and just seeing our tanks getting lifted up. First one goes down. Rest of these SCVs pull on forward here. It's going to be seeing a couple of Vikings firing up. The Colossus going down. This is going to be the Prism still taking some extra shots too. Extra Vikings also on the way. Marine Marauder still producing. We got ourselves a whole bunch of extra High Templar coming out right now also. The Vikings coming around, the Medivac setting up. The Phoenix will take some shots here immediately, and in we go. Just going to dive on forward with these Archons and Stalkers. The Colossi are being very aggressive. I mean, we are going to lose every Colossus in this fight. And then if we lose every single Colossus, I mean, the follow-up here is really just Zealots. Can we deal with the Zealots as ByuN? Maybe not on the third base, but if he pulls back enough, perhaps he can. Archon Stalker still chipping their way through these orbital commands. So the third base is completely having to run away from ByuN. He's down 20 workers. I think herO would not be too far wrong to just back it up, to stop right now and recognize, hey, I've done enough. I've done a lot even at this point. Let's just back it up, go home for a second, and just kind of go from there instead. Let's not overcommit and just keep on sending units, slow groups of Zealots forward. As in like one group and then another group and then another group, just to kind of die one by one. That's how ByuN can fight. That's how ByuN can take decent trades still. So back it up, let your economy kick in. You've got a good eco advantage. You've got the third base, the Terran up in the sky. These are all things you can use to put yourself into a better and better position. File still coming across. Another scan coming out. Going to be seeing us a couple Stalkers moving over. Zealots as well. Bioforce of ByuN going to go chilling at the front here. Zealot will go down. Around the side we go. Zealots, Archons, Colossus all coming forward. Just going to be seeing how Bioforce going to stem up. And did you see an EMP going down? A lot of Zealots going to get struck on that. Widowmine's getting taken down as well. Another Disruptor shot gets denied. That's a massive pickoff on the Disruptor here. But I don't think it's necessarily going to matter, as herO just has so much anyways. He honestly feels like his army isn't that great, I guess. But I guess it's because he's really been... well, yeah, I guess just because he's taken down a lot of the SCVs, right? He's obviously just kind of not working through the army, but now he is on the army. The army of ByuN disappears very quickly, and the third base is back up in the sky. The game sits in a lot of trouble if you're ByuN. And this is going to go to a game number 3. We're going to go the distance in the quarterfinals today of ESL Open Cup Korea. We're going to have ourselves the red Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. In the bottom left, Blue Protoss player tying this up here. It is herO heading into game 3. Deciding map. When it gets into those semis versus Solar. Okay, we're coming up. Back's coming down. It's going to be seeing our a little bit of setup getting going here over the next few moments. So, just getting ourselves up and rolling. Barracks is going to finish. Reactor starts up. CC drops down into the natural, gets that start immediately. We do have the probe of herO continuing through, just going to come across into the main base and get back along here. So again, nothing too crazy just yet. After watching Roddy's stream, it's weird to see a 3-Rex not win the game. It was actually such a weird 3-Rex because I felt like it dove in and like herO was so, not underprepared, but it felt like the 3-Rex was doing loads and then he just didn't really manage to follow up on any amount of work because there was so many batteries everywhere, I think was kind of the key. It was kind of weird. If the Immortal was just able to stand next to the battery on the south side of the natural as well, it would have just not died, so... Just in general, like I say, a very weird game. That was a fun game too. I thought game 1 was obviously kind of wild as well. It's been a great series, honestly. Great series between these two. They often deliver kind of crazy games. They're both pretty aggressive in their own right, you know, so... Stargate coming up, we're going to be seeing our Adept and our Zealot continuing through. Yo, HanBaoBao89, thank you so much for the 3-month resub on the Prime. Keep going, okay. You know what, I was just about to stop for that message. Now we're going to keep going. Adept gets taken down, these Marines are going to keep going. This Adept should die, right? Even with 2 Marines on it, it should be enough to get the kill, so an early unit trade out. 4 Marines for Zealot and 2 Adepts, I think, is a big victory for ByuN. It definitely is in resources lost category. And he didn't really have much delay on SCVs building or mining anything as well, right? So, that's a pretty successful ByuN all around. That was not a bad start. Oracle pops out, going to begin to move out across the other side of the map. Just gonna get going over there. Marines come over, Adept taking a little bit more damage. Twilight Council is about to finish up, as we do see the Oracle still activating for a couple more SCVs, so Oracle, I mean, overall so far, the couple SCVs definitely will be helping a little bit. 2 SCVs, 1 more Adept went down. Yeah, it puts you in a bit of a better position, right, as herO now will have that blink much later on because of the initial Stargate commitment. Oracle taking some shots, will not go down, but Cyclone on the way is going to make it very dangerous as the Medevac finally gets to lift up those Widow Mines, trying to avoid the Oracle, so the Oracle can't see where the Medevac went to. Although he might be able to realize that it's not in the main base anymore, and so you should be somewhat expecting this. Now, the gold base of herO is a fun one, and yes, that is right. The gold base of herO down on the bottom right-hand side. He's going to take the gold when you just don't really expect him to. There's not really an immediate need to or anything like that. He's just like, hey, I like gold. And he's just going to roll with it, so gold base coming down straight away here from herO. Wouldn't mind going to go up behind the back of it, try and get a little cheeky connection or so over here, it would seem. Battery finishing up, another Widow Mine going to burrow up as well. And again, a couple of the barracks, a couple of the engineering bays, the reactor. All of that's still just coming out for the moment. It's just bringing all of this through. And a few Stalkers continue up for just a couple of moments as well. It's just getting, again, all of this underway. Widow Mine shot is good for a couple of probes. I mean, to be fair, Widow Mines behind a gold base especially is even more impactful because that potential income is higher. So you're denying a lot more income that could have potentially happened as the Stalker now goes down. The Stalkers came around the side to try and deal with that. And that is going to be the end of a Stalker or so. Some of the gold probes, like I said before. Oracle's going to provide the high ground vision to jump into this base, by the way. So it'd be pretty cool if they feel like the moment is there. But with a tank, well, I was going to say with the tank, I don't think like the moment is there actually. But the Stalkers jump in anyway. They go to the right side. The SCVs pull to make sure Stim isn't going to be too exposed. You obviously do want to make sure you get up to Stim, of course. Without getting to Stim, I think you'd be in a lot more trouble. So 100% something you need to be extremely cautious about. Protect that with your life, basically. Oh, hey, probes go down across the map. Was that on the gold base again? Raven gets 4 kills, so just adding up damage with the gold base. Mineral line under fire. herO just did not react to that at all. That was a little bit, that really was a little bit crazy, actually. Stim combat +1 all still coming through. Just going to be seeing our pylon going down on that gold as well. Set up in the bottom right. Just going to be seeing our Oracle dropping a Revelation down. Our Bio splitting apart. Still just having that +1 coming through for the moment. Combat shields as well. Couple extra Marauders, Marines, and Mines. All of the good stuff producing out at the moment as we have ourselves the Stalker count just coming back across the top. I mean, Raven has been amazing, guys. Even more probes, and the Widow Mines on the gold base just got a bunch more kills as well. My goodness. It just can't win right now as herO. The economy damage is huge. ByuN is just not letting up. Just hitting the mineral line on repeat. And these Stalkers are obviously not good enough against this Bio army now either, so they're going to be forced to run. Losing a couple in the process, and the problem is, you can run all you like, but you're about to get pushed onto your gold. That's somewhere you kind of have to stand and fight, right? That's that Bio moving back up the top here. Nexus in the top left-hand corner. Medevacs, Marines, Marauders all continuing through. We do have our Bio continuing to trade. Some Stalkers take some shots as well. Extra barracks just coming through. +1 armor coming in. And you see our Raven going to get knocked down there by the Phoenix. And the Fuselades continue by also. Going to be seeing the Giant dive into the bottom right-hand side. Again, looking to get on top of that gold base. Couple Stalkers, 3 Stalkers already going down. It's going to now go for the battery. And here come the Zealots. Widow Mine's going to go off. A lot of these Zealots potentially take a lot of damage. The attempt to get the Widow Mines to friendly fire was huge. Now all the Widow Mines are on cooldown. It's just the Bioforce can really speak for itself. It does not need necessarily to have those Widow Mines still active to be good. The Zealot's obviously going to push the Bioforce back a little bit, but yeah, that is a good Decent setup. Let's just have our ByuN pulling back. A couple extra Widow Mines showing up. We're going to see a CC coming down as well. And Phoenix, +1 armor. Some good bits and pieces still on the way through as our Marines will come forward. Our siege tank is going to survive. Well, ByuN's done all of this over 2 bases, and here's the issue. ByuN has done a great job of slowing down the economy of herO, but if he doesn't keep slowing it down, the gold bases are still going to come into play. Pulling back the sides, Widow Mines continue to burrow up. Shots still coming through, Stalker still getting pushed away. Bioforce will stim in and just going to be seeing our Zealots chase a little bit. We're going to stim up a Storm, and it's just Zealots, man. If they start walking into any amount of these mines, they're going to have a bad time. ByuN's playing it hard mode. He kites towards the left side. He's going to leave his mines. He's like, I don't want to do this with the Widow Mines. Hard mode TvP. Bio only. Yeah, you've got the the mines as a backup, but that's about it. Then ByuN comes through. The Stalkers and the Zealots have retreated away. Dark Shrine, Robo Facility all coming up. A couple additional gateways coming online as well. We do see Zealots charging in on this Ghost Academy here. So Ghost Academy taking some damage. A couple Zealots will be dropping. SCVs pull straight through. Ghost Academy getting repaired. Just going to be seeing that Bioforce continuing up as well. Widow Mines in the bottom. Again, just going to deal a whole bunch of damage. 13 probes. It's so important for ByuN to be getting these probe kills because it's not that he's in a bad work account. It's just the fact they're on gold mineral lines, If he wasn't doing anything about those, I really could have seen this being a much bigger issue. As a Phoenix will grab that medevac. And the Widow Mines are going to actually recharge and fire again. Only a couple of probes, but this is also just lost mining time. All these other probes are just not back to mining on the gold base yet. Bioforce is going to stim, and that's potentially just a straight-up kill on this gold base. Goes to the battery first. Nothing's going to show up because herO's army is on the natural of ByuN. Well, ByuN obviously doesn't have everything, but he does have a lot of mines, and he had a couple of EMPs available too, so he's already softened up portions of this army. As he pushes it back, the gold base bottom right dies, as with every probe on it dies as well. Bank around the edges, just going to be seeing our ByuN of ByuN going to go towards the natural expansion here, stim through. Wants to go for the pylon. Just going to make our way straight through onto this. They're going to see the couple probes coming out. 10 probes already going down here. A lot of these probes continue to get killed. 16, 17, Widow Mine shots going all over the Phoenix. I think that's fine, although there's still a lot of healthy Zealots here, which maybe is a bit of an issue. Obviously, ByuN has got herO nigh on all in, so he can just run back to his natural and use the choke points to help him out. He'll have reinforcing mines, and herO's going to type GG. He can't take on this army. ByuN 2, herO 1 in this best.